Good evening. My name is Marcus. Today, I welcome you. We are here today talking about the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl, the third Super Bowl here that the Seattle Seahawks will be a part of. Today, I have a guest with me, Chris, the die-hard Seahawks fan, as you tell by all of his green and blue and wolf gray colors.
Hello, my name is Chris, and yes, I am a die-hard Seahawks fan with Marcus Collin here at Seattle Sports.
Okay, Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
To the Seattle Super Bowl.
Third Super Bowl.
Third Super Bowl.
Third Super Bowl.
Third Super Bowl pre-game show.
Pre-game show.
All right, so let's just go ahead and just jump right into it. How excited are you for this game?
Oh, Marcus, I'm excited. I think I'm more excited this time around than I was for the first time around. Absolutely. Honestly.
Really?
Yep.
All right. So do you have any worries since we're taking on, the New England Patriots?
I do have a little bit of worries. They do have a remarkable running back in LeGarrette Blount, who is a big bruising back like our Marshawn Lynch is. They average about 107 to 108 yards per rushing per game. So, yeah, I think their run game could be a stickler point for us. I really do, yes.
Yeah, I think you have a point. The Patriots this year, they've actually scored 30 points, I believe, if I'm correct, 10 times this year.
I believe you're right, but if I can brag on our defense a little bit, our defense has not allowed a 30-point game all year long.
Yeah, you are correct.
And we are third in the rushing defense, are we not?
You are. But what about that New England pass defense?
What New England pass defense?
Come on, Revis and Browner. Both of Revis shutdown cornerback.
I will give you Darrelle Revis. I think Darrelle Revis is an amazing shutdown cornerback. Brandon Brower, he's a retread from the Seattle Seahawks that we don't need anymore. We got our Legion of Boom.
Got the Legion of Boom. All right, so you think the Legion of Boom will be able to cover, Edelman and Gronkowski coming out, catching all those passes by Tom Brady? Oh,
I have no doubt. Sherman ranks an 18.1 passer rating for passers against him in playoff games. That's very little. If they attack Sherman at all, I'll be very surprised. I think Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas will handle Gronkowski without a problem. That's if they allow Gronkowski in the game.
They allow him in the game. So you think realistically in this game, Gronkowski could actually be shut out?
I think Gronkowski could be shut out. I think too many people are focusing on Gronkowski. And I think all the hype around him, I think that we will scheme a plan for him that will absolutely shut him down, yes.
All right. Well, to me and everything I've been listening and all the media reports that's been coming out, they're saying one of the biggest keys to this particular game is the run. Of course, we focus a lot about the pass. We got Brady, we got Gronkowski and all that stuff. We got the Legion of Boom with the pass defense. But what about the matchup, the rushing game matchup? Or you've already said, New England averages about 108 yards rushing. Seattle Seahawks, they lead the league in 172, almost 173 yards per game. You got beast mode, beast mode just coming in, and he's already got the Skittles thing going on in Arizona, So what do you think about that?
Well, I think our front seven will handle LeGarrette Blount quite easily. Averill and Bennett up front. I think our linebackers are probably the most underrated linebackers in the division, in the NFL. KJ Wright, Bruce Irvin, and Bobby Wagner. I don't see a problem shutting down LeGarrette Blount at all. Not at all.
All right, so you think your third-ranked Seattle rush defense is going to have no problem with the Patriots?
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
All right.
I think our third-ranked Seattle rush defense will keep all New England runners under 100 yards. Under
100 yards, all right. So if that's the case, so you're not predicting any big runs at all from them. 30-yard rushes, bunt down the road. He's a big bruising back, just like we played Green Bay. Green Bay came in with their running back, and they just went right over and pounded the Seahawks defense.
Yeah, but if you notice, Eddie Lacy only had 75 yards rushing in that game, though.
All right.
And Eddie Lacy is a big back, and I think he is bigger than LeGarrette Blount.
All right. Point well taken. So what do you think, then, about the Patriots' run defense? They're 17th, and a lot of the talk I've been talking about that I've been hearing is they're going to come through, and they're going to shut down beast mode. They're going to, shut them down. And Browner even talked about, telling his guys to hurt.
Yeah.
Some of the defensive backs and Sherman, beating them up on some of the injuries that they have coming into the game. What's your take on that?
I don't think they've hit anybody like Beast Mode. I don't think they've had anybody run through them like Marshawn Lynch has. Not to mention Turbin. We have Turbin, Popeye Arms Turbin, who I think will run right through him too. And I think the one thing that's not being talked about the most, Marcus, in our run game right now is our X factor. What's our X factor? Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. All right.
Wilson. Russell Wilson has more rushing yards than any quarterback and almost more rushing yards than a lot of running backs in this league this year.
Okay, I would agree with that. But, I think the real X factor is the offensive line. Yeah. Because the offensive line is able to handle that defensive line of the Patriots. That's where they're going to get the running yards. I think especially if we have a healthy Max Unger.
Yep,
you said Britt is back, coming in, taking care of the right-hand side. Yep. Of course, you already got Okun on the left-hand side on that tackle position. Locking it down. Hey, I think they'll be good to go there. I don't see, even with the linebackers or the Patriots, anyone being able to handle that.
I don't either. And I also think our coaches use our tight ends in block schemes or scheme blocks that are for the run for that purpose. I think our tight ends block very well for our run game as well too. I don't see New England being able to hold our run game down.
All right. Well, the other piece of the game I like to talk about is those mediocre, the mediocre wide receivers for the Seattle Seahawks. We got Revis already out there. He's supposed to be one of the tops. I mean, that's why he came to New England to win a Super Bowl. New England, they're trying to finish up their destiny, over this last decade. I think they have the most.
Island.
Yeah, Revis Island. So how do you think that's going to work out for him?
Revis is just one man. They call our receivers pedestrian and mediocre. But yet we're still going to the Super Bowl with our mediocre receivers.
Right.
And I think our mediocre receivers have won us a few games this year, I believe as well.
They have a very good record. But you know what my take is on that?
What's that?
I think a lot of people that are actually focusing on the defensive backs, the safeties for New England to handle the mediocre passing game of the Seattle Seahawks, especially after last week where I don't know what the hell happened to Russell Wilson. I think he was in a vortex for the first 3 quarters of that game.
Absolutely.
But this is the thing. How often does the Seahawks actually throw the ball downfield? That's not in their game.
Nope.
What they do a lot of screen passes, dinks and dunks to the right receivers, and get yards after.
Over the middle.
Absolutely. And I think Baldwin and Kearse, no matter what anyone says, they're probably 2 of the best in the NFL, and they've proven that over and over again, especially the hometown kid, Jermaine Kearse.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You
undrafted free agent.
Undrafted free agent.
Yep.
And I've seen him make those plays at the University of Washington his entire career, so I know the talent he has, which the other world, America, may not know that. So do you think defensively, Patriots will be able to come up with anything to take care of that?
I don't. I think Baldwin is a very underrated yards after catch pass catcher. When he catches the ball, I think he makes a lot of yards. Our receivers have an uncanny knack to find the open spot on the field in a zone or a man defense. One of the great things about Russell is his ability to scramble out of the pocket if something breaks down, and our receivers recognize the scramble and are able to work themselves back to Russell or work themselves into an open spot to be open for a nice throw to him.
Right.
Absolutely.
And Russell has shown over and over again he's able to buy time scrambling.
Absolutely.
Always has his eyes pointed downfield looking for the open receivers.
Absolutely.
So I think, all those different factors of that particular passing game, then also with that strong running game, I might have to agree with you. You might be right. I think that the Seahawks may be able to pull the game out, but
I get one right every once in a while.
all right. One X factor here in the game I think that we need to give a little attention to.
X factor.
Yes. Gronkowski. All right. Now, I don't care what you can say about him. This guy has talent. I mean, he's great. He's a great tight end. Really, I think he's a big wide receiver more than a tight end.
I think he's rewriting the history books for what a tight end can do.
Right. And this is what I see. This is what I see in him. One-on-one matchups. If they got the zone, he's going across the middle. You got the linebackers filling that up. You got everyone there. But one-on-one, okay? He'll come across one-on-one. For him, we'll have a one-on-one matchup with who?
Cam Chancellor,
right?
Cam Chancellor.
So therefore, who do you give that battle to one-on-one?
Cam Chancellor.
Cam Chancellor. All right. But why would you say Cam Chancellor? I know he's a beast. He comes out, even last Super Bowl. I mean, he set the tone of that game with that first hit.
Oh, yeah. Demaryius Thomas, he set that tone. Absolutely. I think Cam Chancellor just is one of those unique players that that has the ability to change a game with his defensive play, the way he hits. You know, people have said they don't want to come over the middle and be hit by Cam Chancellor because it hurts.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
and although Gronk is a big football player, and I'm sure he is a tough football player, being hit like that repeatedly has got to wear you down over time.
All right, I get it. All right, so that matchup. So here goes another matchup.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about this. I've really been rationalizing this. All right, it's Patriots. They're throwing the ball downfield.
Yes, sir.
They're not scared to send Gronkowski down the field.
No, they're not.
He gets down the field. The safety picks him up, Earl Thomas. Does he have the size or the athletic ability to handle Gronkowski down the field?
I think Earl Thomas has the ability to handle Gronkowski downfield one-on-one. Absolutely. Not to mention, he has absolutely the speed to run with Gronkowski. He's not going to burn Earl Thomas down the field. I think Earl Thomas has the jumping ability to catch balls that are up in the air, and I think Earl Thomas has the tackling ability to be able to bring down Gronkowski down. Absolutely.
All right, all right. Well, we'll see. You know, part of my take, this is part of the game where I get nervous. Gronkowski is athletic.
Yes, absolutely.
Gronkowski is already, 5 inches taller than Earl
Right.
Thomas.
Yep.
And he's great. He's probably the best safety that I've seen ever put on a Seattle Seahawks uniform.
Yep.
Gronkowski could outjump that guy.
Yeah.
He could outjump that guy.
So what if you put a Jeremy Lane on him with Earl Thomas and send him down the field together then? Now you're double teaming him, and you've got somebody that's a little bit taller and just as athletic as Earl Thomas with 4 sets of hands to Gronkowski's 2 sets of hands trying to grab that ball.
And you know what happens in that situation? What I think will happen in that situation with a senior future Hall of Fame quarterback playing in possibly his last opportunity to win a Super Bowl,
Absolutely, yep.
Tom Brady, he will go through his progressions, double team Gronk. Where's Edelman?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's fast, speedy, wide receiver, not scared to go across the middle and get his head taken off. That's the other key there.
Edelman hasn't played Richard Sherman this year either, though.
He hasn't. But with his little chicken arm, you think he'll even be a factor in the game?
I think no arm and Sherman Lane, Richard Sherman could take anybody. No arm, Richard Sherman.
No arm, Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's look at a couple of these questions here that came up about the game. All right. You got some time?
I do. Let me ask you one more question,
Go ahead.
Marcus. What
Go
about
ahead.
putting Bruce Irvin on Gronkowski?
You know, I thought about
mobile
that. Fast,
linebacker,
mobile,
just as big as
linebacker,
Gronkowski?
defensive end. He could line right up against him,
Yeah.
right on the line of scrimmage. You know, with Seattle's
Wagner,
defense,
KJ
you know,
Wright, yeah.
you have no idea what Quinn would put into his game plan. You make a very good point there. Every time I bring up one of these ideas, I bring up, one of the strengths for New England.
Yeah.
It's not like Seattle has an answer for each one of those scenarios.
Absolutely, I believe so. Yeah, we have 3 top linebackers that could run and pass coverage with any tight end out there.
Who was the Super Bowl MVP last year?
I believe it was Bobby Wagner. Wasn't he a
No,
linebacker?
Smith.
Oh, Malcolm Smith. Malcolm Smith from USC. Wasn't he a linebacker though?
Yes.
Yes, he was a linebacker.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
So you never know what happens. All right. So you don't think the New England will score or have a big rushing game at all?
I don't think so, no. I think our front 7 is going to do an amazing job. Averill and Bennett and our linebackers just clamping down on the run game. Absolutely.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's go back to Russell Wilson.
And
Go ahead.
tackle Kevin Williams, too. Can't forget about
Yeah.
Kevin Williams,
Right.
experience in this kind of stuff.
Right. All right. So Belichick talked this week and said pretty much he didn't mention the Legion of Boom. He didn't mention all the great linebackers that you've been mentioning. What he said he's afraid of is the pass rush on Brady. Now, against Green Bay, that pass rush wasn't there.
No, it was not.
It was not there.
Nope, it was not for the first 55 minutes of the game.
Right, and Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, and he played well. I mean, they had that game sold up for 3.5 quarters,
Yes, they did.
if not more. If you give Brady that same time, if you can't rush Brady, even though we've talked about all the pass defense, another thing, I think Brady's not mobile, so I think we don't have to worry about that piece of it.
Right.
But if we can't get that pass rush, how do you think that will impact the game?
That's going to be tough because Brady can pick us apart. I mean, Brady's proved over and over again. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Brady can pick us apart if we don't get a pass rush. Pass rush is absolutely a key to a win in this game for us. We have to throw off the timing of Brady, Gronkowski, Edelman, LaFleur. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Who cares? He's not
Okay.
a Seahawks.
Okay. Just like they did last year in the Super Bowl, disrupt the timing, disrupt the footwork of Brady, and disrupt his throwing timing and lanes. And yeah, absolutely, that's how
Okay.
we're going to be. If we do not get a pass rush on Tom Brady, he will pick us apart.
All right. So, talk about Tom Brady. Now let's focus a little bit more on Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Russell Wilson.
Russell
All right.
for president.
So what do you think Russell's mindset will be going into this particular game? I mean, he went through, 4 picks the first time ever. You know, he cried like a little boo-hoo baby girl, which I understand. It's passion and emotion. I get it. I love sports. But at the same time, it's the Super Bowl. He's going to have all that energy and all that excitement coming back. Do you think he'll be able to put a good, solid game together?
I do. I think the first 10 minutes are going to be rough for both teams because of all the excitement, but I think when Russell settles down, and that kid showed us something in that NFC Championship game, to throw 4 interceptions, to have 9 offensive plays in the first half, to be able to come back and keep his head and keep his cool and do what he does. I see Russell Wilson coming back and maybe having one of the best games of his life. Absolutely. No
Wow.
interceptions. I think he has a game for all ages.
That's a bold prediction. No interception. That's a bold prediction. Bold prediction. Well, you know, pretty much look at the lines of this game. It's a pick 'em. I think originally New England came out originally as a 3-point favorite for the game, and then quickly it went to a pick 'em game. Then I seen some people have Seattle as a 1.5-point favorite in this particular game. So it's pretty much a toss-up.
Right.
So whenever you have a game, for all the years I've been watching football, whenever you have a game that's that close, the next big X factor is special teams.
Right.
Special teams.
Right.
What do you think about special teams? Now, Seahawks, you see them. Special teams played a huge role for them in that
Man,
greenback.
they scored a touchdown for us, didn't
Yeah,
they?
absolutely.
John Ryan to our backup tackle.
Absolutely. And also, too, you got to think that onside kick. Which was huge. If you didn't get that onside kick, you wouldn't have that there either.
Absolutely.
I mean, but you know.
But you also have John Ryan, who's one of the best punters in the league as well, who can back up teams into their side of the end zone as well. So I think what's the word I'm looking for? Putting them in the back of their end zone. Field advantage.
Field position. You're saying field position.
Absolutely.
So special teams, Seattle's kicking game will actually create some benefit in the field position game for us.
Right, and Hauschka is one of the better kickers in the league. We saw Hauschka have one bad game this year where he missed 3 field goals.
Right.
And he did miss those, but he is money all the time, and we have one of the better field goals in the league. So I'm not worried about our kicking game as far as Hauschka. I think John Ryan is one of the better punters and better situational punters in the league. And Marcus, we are one of the only teams that plays our starters on special teams. Richard Sherman's out there, Cam Chancellor's out there, Earl Thomas is out there, running down, playing their lanes, and hitting people.
Wow. You know, you're thinking about it, and I know I'm not a Patriots fan at all, but realistically, you make it really, really hard for me to come up with a lot of arguments of why I should actually feel that the Patriots actually have a real legitimate shot of winning this game, besides them being a legendary team, having a future Hall of Fame quarterback, having a decent running game, having good passing game. I think the last thing that we have, we talked about special teams, we talked about defense, we talked about running game, coaches. Mr. Bill Belichick. And now, there's one thing that's really interesting about this game that we have to keep in mind. First, so there's 2 things. First is, before Pete Carroll got his opportunity to become a head coach again, he was a head coach for the Patriots with the winning record and still got fired.
Yes, he did.
All right. So I think there's that history there and that connection for both teams there. Also, the last time the Patriots played in the Super Bowl, they played in Arizona.
Oh, wow. What a cool connection that is.
You see what I'm saying?
I do see
so,
the
I mean, on
connection.
both sides, there's some
a lot of
extra
connections,
incentives and connections there for the game. Do you think Coach Carroll could out-coach Bill Belichick?
Wow, that's a hard one. Bill Belichick is an amazing coach. Both have two very different styles. Pete Carroll's very much of a positive influence, a positive attitude. I don't want to say a rah-rah type of person, but he's always upbeat, always keeps it upbeat, next man up, compete, play. Belichick is very stoic, very, quiet, behind-the-scenes kind of guy. Yes, I think Pete Carroll outcoached Belichick in a second. I also think there's a little bit out of stick it to you for Pete Carroll and the New England Patriots family. You can say all the niceties, the Kraft family was good to me, they did nice for me, and I helped start something there. But to get fired from a team that you had a winning record to and to be able to come back and face them in the Super Bowl, come on, we're mad.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there's going to be a little bit of a factor.
A little bit of huh?
Yeah.
So I think one of your bold predictions you made earlier, I think if I remember correctly, you said your prediction for the game is 17-34.
35.
35. All right, 35. And one of the other bold predictions I seen on one of the websites I was searching is that the Seahawks will win by at least 14 points. So that's pretty much goes right in line with sort of what you're saying there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I think one of the big keys for this game is going to be turnovers. I don't think Seattle could afford to have many turnovers against the Patriots, especially how well coached and how disciplined they are. I don't think they'll get as many opportunities and magical moments for a last-minute comeback in that particular game.
I agree. Not in this Super Bowl. I think they got there one time in their NFC Championship game against the Green Bay. They will absolutely have to protect the ball. I think Russell Wilson knows he will absolutely have to protect the ball. But I would also like to say, though, too, with that, though, in our game here in Seattle, it was very windy that day. There was a lot of wind blowing around in that stadium. I don't think you'll have that same problem in Seattle. I think this will be a very nice, weathered game. There won't be those outside factors like you saw last year in the Super Bowl with the huge blizzard that was maybe going to be there. I think this is going to be an even weather game, and I don't think the weather is going to be a factor like it was in the NFC Championship game.
Right. They are predicting rain, possibly for Sunday down there, but I believe they could close that roof, right?
Well, they can't close that roof, but I think we play in the rain a lot around here.
All
we
right.
are in Seattle for those of us that don't know we're in Seattle.
All right, so another one. Here we go. Give me your Super Bowl prediction for the MVP.
I already said Russell Wilson for president. I'm going to go Doug Baldwin, Super Bowl MVP. Yeah. You look stunned there, don't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed that. And I'm not buying into all the media hype that he's mediocre. But you know what? Now that I really think about it, he's been very vocal. I mean, I think this is actually his opportunity to actually come out, really shine. And he's actually been being very mouthy, talking about, hey, us mediocre wide receivers, getting right back in Deion Sanders' face and letting him know, hey, we're doing a thing. You could be right. You could absolutely be right. You know how great that would be?
Yeah, wouldn't it?
That'd be great. It would be great.
What about defensive MVP?
Defensive MVP, man, it's hard. It's very easy to go ahead and say, someone like Sherman or Earl Thomas, because they're the people that's rock on that defense. You got Chancellor and I don't know. What about KJ Wright?
Yeah.
What about KJ Wright?
KJ Wright, absolutely.
What about Michael Bennett? He's relaxed. Yeah. He's riding bicycles around. He's rocking that full beard.
Yeah.
He has no worries in the world.
He was Wyatt Earp today at the media day.
Really? Yeah. And one of the things too, remember, Bill Belichick said what? The pass
rush.
The pass rush.
Absolutely. Michael Bennett, yeah, absolutely, could be huge.
So I'm going to go with Michael Bennett would be your MVP of the Super Bowl.
All right, Marcus. So, Marcus, we heard my prediction, my bold prediction for the score. Now it's time to hear your bold prediction for the score.
Oh, man, my bold prediction for the score. This is what I see. I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been reading a lot of articles. Went back and even watched a few games, tried to make myself more familiar with Patriots and actually what they bring to the table besides me just naturally knowing that they're a great team. I really think this game is actually going to be very similar to the Seattle-Carolina game.
Okay.
I think Carolina has good pass defense. They have a decent running defense.
Yep.
They play very strong throughout the game. They got a good quarterback. The difference is instead of having to worry about the running of the running back for Carolina,
right,
we're going to have to worry about the additional passing skills of Aaron Rodgers. With that said, I give them an additional touchdown.
Okay.
So my prediction 24-35. 24-35. I'll go with you. I give him an additional touchdown, but I think throughout the game, I think the biggest key really is going to be the running game. Be the running game, and I see, you know, Marshawn Lynch. He gets all this criticism about he don't talk. It's his stage again to shine. He's relaxed.
Absolutely.
It seems like too in this media, the media day and stuff like that he had down there in Phoenix, Arizona, with the new Skittles little tidbit commercial. He's relaxed. He's chilling. He's ready to go. He's having fun.
Yep.
You know, they're taking money because he's grabbing his crotch or whatever they accuse him of doing. You know, I think so.
He's having fun the Marshawn way, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. You know, we're getting ready. The 12s are down there in Arizona. We're taking over the city. We're here in Washington. Can't be more excited to be a part of history. More excited to see the destiny team of the Seattle Seahawks come and win their second Super Bowl in a row. Third Super Bowl that I've been able to witness in my lifetime. Can't be more excited. Again, thank you for joining us today, and have a great game, and go Seahawks!
And 12s, we need you loud and proud.